Hello everybody! You probably still remember Squid Game, right? This one show on Netflix that blew up overnight and made the whole world talk about it? Yup. So, last year I made a video about it where I turned the main antagonist into Fakemon and talked about my theories for Season 1 and Season 2. Please check it out if you haven't, it's really close to hitting 100 likes. Anyways, there's one thing I want to talk about even more than theories, and that's the games, and how you can hopefully survive them. But before I start, I have to make the same disclaimer as last time. Don't watch the show if you're under 16 or sensitive to any of the shown themes right here. You can still watch this video, it's gonna be fine, I'm not gonna show anything brutal. So this was the first game of the series, and the players didn't know they were playing for their lives, even though it was pretty obvious, I think, but that's fine. I can understand their reaction. In Germany it's called 1, 2, 3 or Ochs am Berg, which translates to 1, 2, 3 turn around and Ox at the mountain or something like that. And the English term is red light, green light. One player, in this case a robot, is turning around and says its little phrase. During this time you're allowed to walk towards her. However, if you still move and she turns around, you lose. One of the contestants does not take this game serious and gets eliminated right away, and people obviously panic when the first one got eliminated. They run around and a lot of them lose too. In the series there's one strategy shown where you hide behind one person so the senses of the robot can't find you even if you move. My strategy would be to go to the ball and walk with your back against it. Gives you more stamina and you're definitely not in danger of shaking around. Alternatively, you could crawl on the ground. At the beginning that would be dangerous, cause you might get trampled. But after the first panic, I think this strategy could work because you also have more stamina. Especially if you crawl behind someone who's walking in front of you. So I wasn't familiar with this game, but basically you have a sugar cookie and a needle and you have to cut out the form that is stamped into the cookie without breaking it. There were 4 forms to choose from: a triangle, a circle, a square and an umbrella. The players had to choose the form before they knew what the game was. Umbrella is obviously the hardest one, the triangle one is the easiest, but square and the circle are also doable. I actually think this challenge is the easiest one out of all 6. I'm not sure how popular that opinion is, because there were quite a few strategies how to survive this. One player, for example, has smuggled in a lighter, which she uses to heat up the needle and basically burn through the sugar. Another player doesn't even use the needle and just breaks part of it away, and it worked. Then, shortly before the time ends, the main protagonist realizes that they are working with sugar, which of course can be softened through water, so he and the rest start licking the cookies. And it works, like the saliva makes everything soft. When watching, I immediately said they should just spit directly into the channel thing of the stamp and then just run their needle through it. I think this would have been the easiest way to do it and the quickest one. You of course have to make sure that the sugar isn't wobbly when you try to take it out of the tin thingy it was in, because it might tear apart. But I think that would have been pretty disgusting to watch, so they didn't do that. Oh, by the way, this Fakemon is the only one of this video that will also be part of the Germansburg Dex, which is my main series. Please tell me if you have any name or typing ideas, I know you guys are pretty creative when it comes to that. Game 3 is literally just Tug of War, but if you lose you fall off a really high platform, and I would be lost here. I never played Tug of War, so I don't know any strategies. And in this series, the players had to decide their teams by themselves, and since people thought the game would be something sports related, the men were favored. Realistically speaking, I would have ended in the team that no one wants. In this particular Squid Game, it would have been a good thing, because they had this one player who knew the winning strategy to every game, but in every other game I'd be dead. However, there is one thing that could have happened. In a different game, the player numbers were uneven and one player didn't get picked for a team. Everyone thought she would be eliminated, but no, she didn't have to participate and survived anyways. There's more explanation to it, but yeah. This could have happened to me if the numbers were odd. That's kinda realistic, to be honest. By the way, I drew this Fakemon looking like a knot. However, if you tug on one side, the construct will fall apart because it actually isn't a knot, it just looks like one. Because, you know, the losing team will fall off the platform. I don't know if it makes sense, but I do it anyways. So, all players have to build teams of 2, unknowing what the game is. Everyone thinks it's a team game, however they actually have to play against each other and only one survives. Yes, this episode was pretty heartbreaking, don't think I had to mention it since that was pretty obvious. But anyways, the rules say that you have to win a game of marbles and obtain the 10 marbles of your opponent. The marbles have to be obtained through a game and not with violence. I'm still not sure when it comes to cheating because I think 2 players kinda cheated, but not really, like they weren't punished for it or anything. They tricked their opponents into giving them the marbles, which was unfair, but apparently not against the rules. Me and my friends instantly got the idea of just trading the 10 marbles with each other. The rules don't say you have to have 20 marbles in the end, just that you need the 10 marbles of your opponent to win. Some people said it's a mistranslation, but I googled it and it said there is no additional rule, just the 10 marbles of the opponent. So how can both of you win the game? Go to the guard and say, hey, watch this. We're going to play rock, paper, scissors and make sure everything is correct. If I win, I am going to trade my marbles for my teammates' marbles. If they win, they are going to trade their marbles with mine. And if it is a tie, we are gonna trade our marbles with each other. So no matter how the game goes, both players are gonna trade their 10 marbles and to obtain the 10 marbles of their opponent. Just make sure you both have the marbles exactly at the same time. The games can be pretty unfair even though the game master said no, it's fair. It wasn't. Just realized it's frontman and not game master. Whoops. Anyways, me and my friends were so sure that at least one team would use or at least try this strategy, but no one did. On the internet I saw a discussion and one person said that this wouldn't work because, I quote, when you get the marbles of your opponent they are no longer his but yours. This made absolutely no sense because then you wouldn't be able to get the 10 marbles of your opponent at all and would also lose if you had all 20 because they are never the marbles of your opponent, they're always yours. Made no sense. I think it would have worked and well, maybe we can see it in Season 2, that would be pretty cool. Oh, by the way, I incorporate a few characters, or rather their personalities, into the design of this regional variant, and another Easter egg that those who watch the show might be able to find. I don't know if it's too hard to guess, but you can see it. So at first I didn't even know what children's game this one was based on, but apparently it's this game where you hop through a bunch of squares that you paint on the ground. You know what I mean, I hope so. This one was pretty messed up and, it was unfair. There is no other way to put it. All players have to cross a bridge made out of glass by hopping on one of 2 glass windows that are next to each other. One is normal glass and will break if you jump onto it, and one is safety glass. However, the thing is, you have to randomly choose which one you are hopping on. And even though there are possibilities to distinguish between the safety glass and breakable ones, it doesn't matter. Because this game is supposed to be random. In the show there is a character who is a glass maker who can actually differentiate between the 2 glass swords by the reflection. So when he uses his knowledge, the game master just turns off the lights. The glass also sounds different, so he throws a marble at one of the glasses. Because he only had one and he needed a second one to throw at the other glass, which he didn't have. So this challenge was just pure luck, which sucks. Even if you had abilities, you weren't allowed to use it. I didn't like that part, but whatever. Since I'm not just gonna randomly jump onto glass plates and there's no other strategy to win, I would just try a different approach. I think it should be possible to walk on the 2 parallel metal things that hold the 2 glass paths. Alternatively, it could be possible to crawl over the bridge. Your weight would be even distributed amongst the glass plates and you have more stability. I'm pretty sure I would get eliminated if I finished the game, to be honest, but I tried it anyways because otherwise it's just random. With this strategy there's at least a small chance I could beat the game. And the last game is obviously the Squid Game. It's a Korean children's game and I do not know the rules well enough to make any kind of strategies. So I'm just gonna talk about a different thing here that kinda bothered me. Well, at least at first, then not so much anymore. While watching the series, me and my friends thought it was pretty obvious that only one person can or will be the winner of the game, even though none of the players seemed to realize that. It just felt very battle royale to us, like one survivor. However, now I'm not even sure that's the case. You see, Squid Game, like the actual kid game, is a team game. 2 teams have to play against each other. In the finale of the series, it's one player versus one another player, and only one survives. But if, for example, 4 made it into the finale and they did not try to kill each other the day before, they could have been split into even teams and play the game how it is supposed to be, as a team game. I hope they explore a few of those possibilities, or well, fan theories in the second season. Like, we were all rooting for a different character, and then, well, the character did not make it into the finale, and we couldn't care less for the 2 characters that actually made it, and then the 1 character that survived. Nah, we were hoping for a team game, but it just was meant to be. But it's something that could be added to the second season. I think the most brutal thing the show writers could do for the last Squid Game would be the following scenario. Let 4 people survive and split them into 2 teams. The winning team will be either like a couple, siblings, best friends, or parent and child. But after they win, the frontman tells them that only one can win and the 2 survivors have to decide the final winner. That'd be brutal. And Squid Game Season 1 had 2 episodes that kinda had the same heartbreaking vibe going on, so it's definitely something that could happen. Yeah, that'd be my idea for Season 2. Oh, and of course, I know the characters in the show were in really stressful situations, and it's not comparable to just watch the show and think about how to survive those games. I would have lost that game 1 for sure, like, no question asked. But it's still an interesting thing to think about how to beat those games. I hope they will introduce new games in Season 2 or explore, like what I said, more ways of beating the old games. That would have been cool too. So I hope you liked this video. Check out part 1 if you haven't, leave a like and subscribe for future content. Right now, while writing the script, we are very close to 200 subscribers. Tell me what do you think about these designs and how you would have beaten the games in Squid Game. Have a nice day and see you in the comments.